Hello. So, I've been thinking about something someone told me recently, which was that I, quote unquote, present well, and that some people may not even think that I need help or that I'm even dealing with cancer. And I was thinking about how there are people who aren't dealing with cancer who shave their heads and make themselves look like they're dealing with cancer. And it's interesting because when I was dealing with chemo, the last thing I wanted was to look like I was dealing with cancer. I didn't want the pity. I didn't want people staring at me. I went to great lengths to put wigs on, to draw on eyebrows, to do everything I could. I wore makeup more than I do now, even though I'm wearing it at the moment. But I don't wear makeup all that much now. I don't feel like I need to, because before I needed it to compensate. I was so pale. I didn't have the eyebrows. I didn't have hair, so I kind of looked like was it a Klingon? And I just, I was thinking if people could just, what's the word I want to, I really haven't thought this through totally yet, so maybe I shouldn't even be talking about it this way, but it kind of bothers me that there are people who can go out and play off of the stereotype and get more help than I've seen in the time that I've been dealing with it, and I'm really dealing with it. And every time I hear a new story about somebody who's faked it, I'm sure it probably pisses off other people who are dealing with it too, because there are a lot of people who are in this position who need help, legitimately need help. And yet there are people who are illegitimately seeking help who are getting more help. Something's really wrong with that picture. And it just makes me think too that people don't really know what cancer looks like. I'm dealing with cancer. You wouldn't really be able to tell unless I was telling you this, unless you knew, and I don't have to not have my eyebrows and not have my hair and everything else to prove it or to say anything. And there's, someone had said something about how she took off part of the words I had said from the time I took my trip last October and said about how no one talks about it. And someone thought that she was saying that no one talks about cancer. And it's not that no one talks about cancer. It's just that no one talks about the stuff that people deal with when they're dealing with cancer, other than perhaps cancer. And what I mean by that is the stuff they have to deal with when it comes to their friends, to their family, to their life, to their jobs, to their money, to everything. People just don't know, and nobody really wants to know. But if we had a greater understanding and greater compassion, then maybe people who tried to scam wouldn't get away with it as easily. If we weren't manipulated so easily sometimes, it's almost like a salesman who gets you to buy something you don't really want, but you go home and you convince yourself you want it. The only difference is if somebody turns out to be a scammer, you're not going to really convince yourself you want it. But if you think you're somehow helping someone, even if it's something you've been manipulated into, you're okay. And I've never wanted anyone to help me because I manipulated anything. I've wanted people to help me based on the truth, based on what they felt deep down inside. And I think that even may be part of the problem, because people oftentimes don't want to feel what's deep down inside. It's scary. It's scary as all heck. I don't know. It just really makes me sad. It makes me sad for me. It makes me sad for other people. It just makes me sad in the bigger picture that we can be so manipulated. I know hypnosis. I know about NLP. And it bothers me when I hear people trying to manipulate me. A few years back, some company that I often have had great respect for called me trying to sell me something. And they were using manipulative techniques to try to get me to act, and it was pissing me off. You know, and I don't know if the person on the phone realized what they were doing or if they were just following a script, but it just was annoying as all heck. So, and I don't know, heck doesn't always work in terms of powerful words, but I'm using heck right now. So, I guess if I'm gonna sum up and leave you with anything, and maybe it's just that we shouldn't take anything at face value, because we can often be wrong. And it doesn't really hurt to go past the superficial. There may be some pain there, but there's also a possibility of some tremendous rewards. Sometimes we have to go through the pain to really get the gain. I wonder if anybody's ever said it like that before. But, you know, we should stop accepting the fact that human beings can be manipulated. We should stop accepting that this is the way that we're wired. Maybe there's a way to change it if we want to change it. Maybe we can change it if we just see it for what it is and try to work past it somehow. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Maybe there'll be more one day. I'm being quite the poet today. But anyway, have a good one. Talk to you later.